Hi, everyone. Jolly Dave from Day to Day Senior Care. How are you? Welcome back to another episode of our On the Road tour. We have a very special evening tonight, 30 minutes, where we're going to discuss the snow, assisted living facilities, senior care facilities. Um, I worked in many of them over my 3 decades, and there were many snowstorms. And I have some former peers that are out there. If you're listening right now, we'd love to have you on for a couple minutes and share your memories. Looks like we have someone that's ready to join. I'm going to add her to the stream. And,
Hi.
Melissa's back. How you?
Hello, Charles. I'm back again, round two.
I just said I'm hoping that someone will recognize us, like either Jessica or Jenny that I worked with at Atria, or so anyone that I worked with over the years that has a story to share about a snowstorm on the weekend when we're in a huge blizzard. And I know many of my former peers, your former,
Oh, yeah.
are out there working right now. They're in there. They're sleeping in their office, or they're up in an empty bed in a room that isn't occupied. Who knows?
That we need to fill as admissions.
I know. I know. Miss it.
I,
Go ahead. Yeah, share. You have something you want to share about a recent snowstorm
you know,
she worked at?
I have to say I don't really have experience. All the years that I've worked in nursing homes, it was either just, a bad rainstorm, and you were trying
Oh,
to.
you lucked
But
out. Okay.
I never had to stay over a facility, or I wasn't mandated to come in like over a weekend to stay. So I've gotten lucky. I'm sure others say differently, but I can't really say anything only to the fact of, when there was maybe like 5 inches of snow and the roads were really icy, it would take you longer to get to work. And the
Mhm.
office would open later, and your whole day would then get ruined because you're rushing to catch up,
Mhm.
for the day, or the ambulances would run late and your
Oh,
admissions would arrive late, from an admission
yes.
perspective. So everything was affected.
Yes, I know. It only took a couple inches for the nursing home to deal with all the issues when late admissions,
Yep.
unable to get residents to go anywhere without extra help because of the slippery conditions. I know.
Their discharges were on hold. They were canceled the last minute. Their families couldn't get to them, so the families were panicking, asking, "Are we on generators? Are you closed for visitation?" I mean, some of the questions you would get asked, and it's like, "No, we're a 24 operation, so you're still welcome to come in." But a lot of people really wouldn't risk it to visit their loved one on that particular day.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so I see Ann Wax just joined us by saying good evening to everyone. Good evening, Ann. How
Good
are
evening,
you?
Ann. Hi.
So yeah, I'm hoping I did send out a lot of invites to my former peers. And again, the chances of them being stuck in a facility and have some time to chat, possibly, is better than if it was on a Sunday night where everyone's just, they don't want to bother with work. They don't want to, they're watching TV. Well, it's Monday, but Sunday and Monday, it's been crazy. But yeah, definitely Monday. Everyone would be home and wouldn't want to be talking after a long day. But let's see. Anne, you have anything that you ever worked in a facility where you were stuck in a snowstorm? Okay, she heard me. She said hi.
Yes, she said hi,
Yep.
but she could hear, correct?
Yes, I believe she
Okay.
can. Yep. Yep. I hope so. Yeah, because we're we're podcasting this as well. Um, but uh, okay, and I have my phone here too, just in case, because sometimes I can catch something on my phone here. Okay, she may be typing something. Um, yeah. Um, so yeah, my first experience was so many years ago. There were storms when I worked in assisted livings. Back when I was director of resident relations or case management, and a lot of times when that snow would come. We were already told, um, you got to stay. You want to go home. You want to get your things, but the
Right.
snow's coming tonight. We don't know who's going to come in because a lot of times the big issue was the food. Obviously, you're not going to get staff that are coming in part time for sure just to cook a meal. They're all going to call in sick or sick. Not all of them, but there were those that would. So you had to be there for coverage.
So when staff was mandated from an administrator's perspective, this is a question for you, Charles.
Hmm.
When staff didn't come in and they were supposed to come in, would they get written up for it? Would there be some form of like a disciplinary action against them for not showing up and calling out sick when you really knew that they really weren't sick?
Some facilities, the owners were very, very proactive about that. Where others, it was more of a like, all right, well, you know what, you're gonna be available for the next storm, right?
Ah, okay.
Because
Got it.
you're.
I mean, I thought it was nice too, even when, we would have, let's say, like thunderstorms, that some of the administrators would order food for every shift, including administration. I thought that was very nice too. Or they would try to give them out like gift cards just
Mhm.
to entice them to get them, to come in early or work a double shift. And that also applies too with, staffing issues. They would
Yes,
always try to, bend backwards and forwards just to try to get them to stay or show that they were appreciative of them even making the effort to do so.
absolutely. Yep. And Annie shares too that storms do happen. You do make plans. So most people know ahead of time if they're going to
Mm.
have to come in, and they should be there. But unfortunately, and if you go to our podcast, I did an episode with Atria East Northport, and when I was interviewing the culinary director there, Pete Taylor, who has been there 15 years, my tenure there with him, he would always make sure during snowstorms because we had some big ones that you know, fresh meals, breakfast would be served, but it would be us, the directors, the nurses, supervisors, even the recreation director would stay and help. You see, so we would do what we had to do. Yeah.
Yeah, see, and wrote many facilities get a place for their staff to stay.
Yes, you're right. And I was at some of those facilities up in Maine. They had a big cottage right next to. It was on campus because I was overseeing a small assisted living. There was a larger nursing home, and then they had a special nurses' quarters. Like it was a built on right on campus. We old
Oh,
fashioned, you know how Maine is. Everything is antique up there, but it was a good place for them to rest, and we were able to switch out staff. Absolutely. So yeah, unfortunately, I also worked at some facilities where there really wasn't that kind of opportunity. So we would find rooms that weren't occupied by residents,
yeah.
office spaces. I remember sleeping in my office. That was the worst one time. Oh boy, I wanted my comfy, bed at home, but I settled for, a blanket on the carpet, but it happens.
Did you order a pizza pie?
Oh yeah, if yeah, at the HVS Northport, we didn't have anything to worry about. It's funny you brought that up because in the podcast interview with Peter, he shares about his Hawaiian pizzas that he made.
That's funny.
So we
Yeah.
were eating Hawaiian pizzas at like midnight, and feeding the staff that was staying overnight.
You do what works, right? You just
Absolutely,
improvise as best as you can in a
that's what it
situation
is.
that's not always so
Yeah,
wonderful.
and it helps with the morale to
Mm,
yep to the staff. Yes, to be
she's
appreciated.
right, and you're correct. I have happen to agree with that.
Yes. We would hold a special appreciations after the storm just for those that were there, and unfortunately, hey, you weren't there, you're not part of that event. Sometimes we had to make it clear,
Yeah.
those that rolled up their sleeves, got the extra bonuses. Yep, absolutely,
You know
especially
what?
during bonus time.
I know that this doesn't have to do with like thunderstorms and, with the blizzard that we're in right now, but this could also tie back to, COVID times too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is bringing me back to that time a little bit. This conversation of how, you had nurses that were right in the forefront that weren't nervous, that went in there and did what they had to
Hmm.
do, and they showed up every single day, not taking a day off. Says a
Absolutely.
lot about their character.
Yep, yep. And I remember when I was working in the Hampton Center, and I'm always proud to share where I work there. And but during COVID, it was very, very, very tough for us because we didn't know what was going on in the beginning of March. So
Yeah.
not only were staff not showing up because everybody was afraid, but we're going around with flashlights, looking and because the state said to make sure that anyone's belongings are if they passed away that they're sealed for 5 days.
Yeah.
We didn't know if it was airborne. I'm looking over my shoulder. It's like it's
Crazy
crazy. It
times.
was yes. It really was. But yeah, but this blizzard tonight, I mean, yesterday. Now this blizzard was crippling. So I know that it was mandatory for all the assisted livings, all the nursing homes. So there's a lot of people that are probably still there and hoping to go home tomorrow, and that they need a break. Absolutely, and you can. I feel for them. You can feel for them because we work in the nursing home. We've worked. I've worked in assisted livings. It's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of
It, it's not even so much sometimes physical, sometimes the more mental part of it is even more draining, where they need a break too. They need to take a pause because then how good is the nursing staff and all the other workers to
mhm.
the residents if they can't even care for themselves? So
Yes.
everybody needs a pause and a reset
Yes.
button.
Mhm. It's so true. Any questions out there from LinkedIn or our YouTube channel viewers or anyone over at Facebook? Uh, anyone in Facebook? I know I have so many friends. I have Nancy and there's Mary Ellen and I could go on and on. Brendan, there's so many people that I worked with that um I hate to say some of them are probably at the facility right now.
Yeah. It's
I
probably
don't
mayhem, I would imagine. So
Bre-
right now the phones
yeah,
are probably ringing with the
I
resident
know.
families
Ain't got
calling.
they ain't got time to get on with Charlie.
No,
Charlie's
no.
not the boss
Sorry,
anymore. He's not the
Charlie.
administrator there. Charlie, we'll see you. We'll see you after the storm. I could see Brendan and some of the others, laughing like, yeah, right. He sent me this invite. Like I got time to show up for a half an hour.
And they're tired.
I
They
know.
just want to get home too.
I
So
know.
hopefully tomorrow everybody gets home safely. They can, have some downtime and then get back to their normal schedules. Or,
Hmm.
like I said in the previous podcast, schools will close again tomorrow. So I feel like the world's not going to
Yeah.
start opening back up again till like Wednesday or Thursday.
Exactly, exactly. And you know what? Just to share too, just so they know too, I totally understand where everyone's coming from. I mean, yesterday my sister and I and some of our territory account managers worked very hard to prepare for the storm. I personally went to some clients and did rock salt. I made a little funny video about going to get the rock salt. I
Yeah.
never found rock salt
I
in
was
that
just going to ask,
in
did
that
they still
clip.
have
No,
it?
I didn't get it. I showed a hardware store. No, it was sold out, but I managed to the client himself had some, so I did a little quickie of me putting it down.
That was
But
so
yeah,
nice.
I know. So we did what we had to do, and there were some people that we had to call in extra staff to stay overnight, like in a hotel where somebody is waiting to go. I'm going to be placing them in the Bristol tomorrow. I mean, not myself personally. The family's already going to bring him. It's all done. He's going to go there tomorrow. But we stayed with him for quite some time. Just and he needed that continuity of care too. And I knew right away nobody was coming Monday.
No.
Nobody was coming Monday, so we were proactive and we put in some extra staff as said on Saturday so that there was an overlap. And sure enough, I was right. That one just went home tonight, the other's going home tomorrow. But at least there was two people. So it helps if they needed a break because I know there were times I only got like 2 hours sleep when we did these overnights with the staff in the assisted living in the nursing homes. You don't get much sleep sometimes.
No, you don't. And hopefully, with this family, with their loved one, hopefully it's an easy transition and they're happy there and
Hmm.
they
Yep,
take it day by day. That's what they
exactly.
really
Day
do.
day by day. Yes, day by day, day to day senior care. No. But yeah, I was thinking of something you had mentioned too. Yes, yeah, very important to get the rest, and for people to know if sometimes down the road we'll have people sharing, looking at the videos. They'll know that there's a lot that goes on in the nursing home and assisted livings that we do to protect those residents. Aides are even crucial during that time. So who do you think is, you're at that fine line where luckily in assisted living you can do care and not it's not under the regulations as severe as in a nursing home. And again, depending on whether they have an advanced license or whatever in assisted living. So back in the days, and I mean back in the days when I was doing adult homes as an aide, I'd go to the Bayport adult home, 20 beds. Then I'd shoot over to the Blue Point adult home, which was 20 beds, owned by, a small company. And I would be the only staff member. Someone would come in 4 to 8 to help with the meds, and I got about 17, 18 client
A
residents in
lot.
there. I know.
The big ratio.
I mean, times have changed.
Oh,
Yep. But yep. So all right.
the biggest struggle is, the nursing to patient ratio. And a lot of patients today need a higher level of care.
Yep. Ann says rock salt is hard to get. Oh boy, can make a lot of money
Right.
on rock salt right now. I couldn't find it anywhere. And she also worked during COVID. Ann's a nurse. I know her from LinkedIn. She's on LinkedIn. Um, so, right, Ann, you have a lot of nurse practitioner for many, many years,
Oh, wow.
decades, I believe. Yeah. So, um,
Well, thanks, Anne, for what you do every day.
yes. And let me just type a message. Oop, okay. And just see if anyone have a question for us. Okay. Yeah. So, trying to think what else we got here. It's 8:17, and I check it on here. Oh wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. An executive director I know. I used to work with her. I almost had her come on tonight too, but she's just she's had a she's been busy too and all that. But I will get her on as a special guest. Um, she's executive director with Atria, but she used to be the human resources director with me years ago. Um, yeah. So let's
You're welcome.
see. What was that?
And said that she's a nurse for oncology, being,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Thank you for thanking me. That was sweet." You're
Yep.
welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. Definitely. Definitely. Um, oh, how do you get to be on our podcast?
Forget.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
love it.
simple. Yeah, you just have to we have to book a time and I can have you on as a guest. Absolutely. I'd send a link. So we have a restream studio with day-to-day senior care, and what we do is we do different podcasts which go off to once they're done the audio podcasts go to another website I have, and that allows the audios, which get then sent to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and what's that other one? Apple, and some others. I didn't pick all of them because I'm no special guy. I'm just trying to share some audio for people that would like to just hear it as they're on the go. But yeah, no, we could do that absolutely. Um, yeah, so yeah, and Melissa also spent a lot of time in admissions, working at two facilities that we shared some time together. We were on an earlier, so if you want to hear the full podcast interview, Melissa gets into some pretty intense moments, sharing how she was multitasking various responsibilities when taking in admissions and we had been at two facilities. She had came to the other one to assist over there when they were in need, and she knows about emissions, and we do want to devote a time again in the future to go over what it what is the criteria to get into a nursing home. Like for example,
Great.
Melissa, I have a quick question for you now that I have a potential client. I'm
Okay.
working with the family. We're just deciding now if the father would be able to get into a nursing home. without going into a hospital, and they've got some Medicaid. They've used their Medicare days. Is
Okay.
there anything that you may be able to share about? Because I know there is some difficulty in the general public in trying to understand why do they have to go through the hospital only?
So, patients that are in need of care or a higher level of care, it is easier to go the hospital route because a social worker is then assigned to that patient and they give them a list of choices of all facilities to either tour or go onto the CMS website and see the star ratings of the facilities.
Hmm.
So the families could do their due diligence to see where they want this information called the PRI. That's a patient review
Hmm.
permit that clinically goes over the patient's mobility, behaviors, demographics. From there, that information is a legal document that will get them admitted to a nursing home.
Mm.
However, you don't necessarily need a hospital admission. If you want to come in as a rehab patient, and if they have Medicare, then we could do an admission from a hospital and transition to long term. But
Hmm.
they're not really a rehab candidate, meaning they're more bed bound. There's really no rehab potential.
Hmm.
They can be admitted from home. They would have to call a nurse assessor who is licensed to do PRIs,
Hmm.
either do like a via like Zoom call or FaceTime or physically go into the resident's home.
Hmm.
There's a fee for it. They would
Hmm.
that nurse assessor, they would generate that PRI and then it would go right to the facilities that they choose.
Hmm.
So there is a roundabout way. They don't have to go through the hospital, even though it is easier,
Mm.
but they can admit from home. And that PRI is only good for 30 days in the
Yes, that's what I heard. You know what, Melissa? I think I may need you to help me with that family member.
ah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? At whatever. That's what we do here at Day to Day Senior Care. We try and bring in people. I know because it's just so much easier. We both know we're on the same wavelength. So if this person needs help, Melissa would be the perfect person because although as an administrator I have knowledge in admissions and other departments, I was only taught and still learning um, all the expertise of each one of those. And Melissa has been in admissions and she knows it.
I have no
So
problem helping. There's still a lot of stuff I'm still learning because
yeah,
I feel like Medicare is always changing their guidelines
I
and
know.
everything's always changing and you really have to be up to date with everything.
Hmm.
But again, you have an administrative, license. You have certain areas that maybe I'm not aware of, and we could kind of you know,
Yeah.
stay together and use our own skills together. So
Yep.
why not?
And and we could
Really a
uh,
need.
yeah, and honestly, Melissa, we could take them from beginning to end
Yeah,
and place them in a nursing home. You may know somebody that's ready to accept someone like that. You see? That's how
absolutely.
easy it is.
There's
Day-to-day senior care. We're making things happen with the right people. People that I've
yeah,
worked with. I'd rather work with everyone I've known, come aboard and we just grow together than, you know, uh, not that I wouldn't take in new people. It's just that when you have those connections with people, it's always a plus. So that's great.
teamwork.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anytime. I
Yeah.
have no problem helping. That's
See?
what I'm here for.
Oh, and to have wait, so we're gonna get her on. She used to work for elder care attorney
Mm,
too about nursing home
okay.
admissions. That would be a good subject, Dan. That would be a good subject to talk about. Yeah, I'll reach out to you this week. And you have a good evening too. I see it says I have to go. Okay, you have a great evening too.
Have a great evening. Mm,
So we're at well, we got 6 minutes
and
left because I try to keep these to 30 minutes. I know people have things they got to do, and um,
you could cover a lot of material in 30 minutes.
I know it's true. It's
So
true.
it
So I'm
works.
gonna I'm gonna ask again if there's anyone out there. I'll even go on here and type on my Facebook page to see because I know it's on live right now. Yep. So I'll go down over here and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, see, I'm not. Okay. Type on my Facebook page to see because I know it's online. All right, somebody come on and say hello. Tell me about your snowstorm. We got 5 minutes left. Okay. Now you see what happened here is I'm going to check this on my restream because I'm supposed to have it's supposed to show up on here too. So you see how everyone on LinkedIn, you see, and on LinkedIn. So if somebody goes on Facebook, it should show up here as well. It's supposed to have a um, multiple, like it'll show you the icon, whether it's a Facebook comment or a link comment. We're going to
Yeah,
find out more about that.
I only see LinkedIn and Charlie. I think your comment was from YouTube earlier because it has like a red background. So I think that's a YouTube comment,
Okay. Yes.
but there's no Facebook comments.
Okay. Yeah. I just did that Facebook comment. Yeah. So I'm going to see. I'll check that afterwards. Yeah. I'll go up here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see it. Yep. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. All right. So we could say goodnight to everybody if there's no questions. Um, Melissa, you have anything you want to share before we go?
No, I just wish everyone, a wonderful week ahead. Hopefully, this is all in the past, this wonderful snowstorm, and we're on to bigger and better things and warmer weather, hopefully. And
Oh yeah, we need that. We need the
hopefully
warmer
it's
weather.
good for our soul, it's good for our minds. I appreciate everybody what they do on a daily basis. I don't think we get enough recognition for what we do. So
True.
it is always nice to have a positive note and be positive with each other. So thanks for what you do. Charles, again, thank you for another podcast from somebody that
Oh,
never
you're welcome.
podcasted to tonight. Not bad. I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, you are. You're doing exceptionally well.
Thank you.
That's we're gonna have you on again too. Maybe
Thanks.
you'll be my co-host as we
I
go forward
appreciate
for a
that.
while.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
definitely. All
And
right.
have,
Yep.
have a great week, everyone.
Yes, you too. And everyone
Thank
have a great
you.
weekend as well. We'll talk to you again. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next week. All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye bye.